Good morning, this is part 2. Today is Thursday, August the 30th, 2018. And on this channel and in this life I go by Tom Z, Cruise Joad. More will be explained later. And what I'm doing is making a chicken base, okay? And what that is it's part of living socially secure. And so using subsidized food products, you can really cut your cost per portion down very, very low. So I've created kind of a reduction, I think the chefs call it, in which I have a boiling pot of water here. This is more from the chicken bones that I stripped off. Disposed of the bones, bag them up nice so the kitty cats couldn't get into them and drag them out around there. And now what I'm going to do is, at different times, I'm going to be putting in different ingredients because I have done a lot of things in life, and one of them was a union food processor, producer and processor in a kosher factory in Totowa, New Jersey in the 80s. And what I had to do was I learned how to make kosher food, and it has to do with preparation and sanitation, things like that. So I would blend my flour into my product. And if I did it wrong, I'd get clumpy flour. Clumpy flour, what that does is it takes all the ingredients into one spot and makes it hard to blend. So my goal right now is to blend in the flour, the pure chicken fat that I have prepared here. This is like the stock base. So the first thing I'm going to do is make the flour easy to get out of this container. I'm going to try to waft it in a little. These are actual blending words. Stir a little. And you know, that's going to get a little bit lumpy, but I didn't go in too much. Okay? Always keep all your safety devices handy. And now I'm doing is, okay, I'm trying to get my clumps of flour to pick up the chicken fat before I put in most of the flour, so that when the units start to match, that is when the dry flour hits the wet flour, the dry flour will dry out the wet flour and it will spread around better. We had all these machines that they taught us to run and had to use these recipes, and our food batches were analyzed 3 times a batch, so 9 times a day your product, in my case I produced 3 one day before the next, before you do a wash out, and that's how we say wash in Pennsylvania, wash. Before you could move on to the next product level, that the rabbis should come through, and they blessed everything and you cleaned all your machines in a sanitary environment. So most of the lumps, nobody likes lumpy gravy, right? So most of the lumps, I've gotten rid of them, but I've got to get rid of, I want to say almost all of them. Because what they did is they took the chicken fat in, okay? Now, homogenization, whatever, you know, I just poured in a little of the chicken fat, okay, and I brought it up to temp just a little, and when it hit this cooking on low but previously boiling water, okay, the fat molecules break up, and I'm counting on them, and they will, they're going to go into these still lumps left that I have, okay? And I can still see the lumps. If I had a whisk, that'd be swell, but I think that would aerate this too much. And I don't really want it aerated. Aeration is a different cooking technique, okay? This is blended. I had the rabbi come and bless the place, but partially Hebraic roots. I had the DNA done 20 years ago. 26% African, that's 16% Moroccan, 6% Kenyan, gives me 74% Northern European, which is German, Polish, Hebraic roots, Scotch, English, and Irish. I like my Scotch whiskey, and I like my Irish whiskey. I don't like Scotch whiskey. Never tasted that. So now, pour in more of the pure chicken fat. Okay. The moment it hits this temperature, we know chicken fat turns thinner. So it now is spreading, kind of like a bouillon cube would. It now is spreading the chicken fat calories across the base. Now the goal here is don't cook off too much of the base, you got your flavor, okay? So what I'll do, when this is all done, I'll end up with kind of a paste. It's a super gravy, a lot of calories on it, it tastes great. And then as I cook for the next 10 or 15 days, I put my base, what I make, Christ's King, chicken on a king, which is where poor people eat, is you put bread, and when you do a little agitation in it, you put the bread under your meat, okay? So that the bread absorbs your meal, and you eat it, and it releases it slower through your system. Now what I have is a bunch of lumpy gravy. So I'm going to try this. Smush it down. Really push it to the bottom of the pot. Use the ladle because it's curved and the pot is curved. Okay, I can get it better on the side, I see. Still learning. I had to write down where I'm going today, get the directions, even though I've been there. Because as a senior citizen, a lot on your mind, a lot of it's memories. Mostly good, because your mind hopefully represses the bad memories until you forget the bad memories. So living socially secure is to use subsidized food products to cook off hours so that the temperature's going to go up into the 90s again today, and I'll be out of the house. But by then all the cooking will be done. So we're doing this using the round, and when you stir, you got in all the cooks, and you got to go all the way around. You got to pull to the center. So now I'm getting quite a nice gravy look. I never really know how much this camera sees. This particular camera is my third one. So now she's a bubbling good. We all like it when she bubbles, okay? Now this is gravy. It's not a base, okay? This is what you would pour on it. And when you go to bring this down through the temperature zones, but you have to be aware what the temperature zones are, because it is summer for another 20 plus days. 13 days till I qualify for Social Security, and today I'm going down to the office and sit down and put in the claim. That's the expectation. Because we all know expectations can be easily shot, but you can't take my Social Security away from me. Oh. So now, I have a second box of flour ready. Before I go in any more with flour, I'll get that ready. And I said earlier, I use Ahold products all the time. It's a Royal Ahold, and a lot of subsidies when you get food from Europe. So now I want to blend it in. It's good, it's not lumping. Might not need that second box. It's good, it costs $1.69. You can buy 5 pounds of flour real cheap, but it won't be a complete mix. Complete mix, as bakers know, means it's ready to rock. And in the factory, when I was a kosher food producer, we created bread bases that will complete. So what would happen is Burger King, Dunkin' Donuts, Pepperidge Farms, Thomas's English Muffins, everybody would buy our products complete and break them down in their factories, which is the raw ingredients. So they didn't have to have a baking operation in-house. The guy I worked for, Alex Weber, was an art collector, had computers back in the early 80s before anybody had them. He had 2 computer guys, we called them 0 and 1. So I could go out to lunch and study the liquids at lunch. This is almost a little bit more. Wow. Won't be the other guys. Now it's getting a little pasty. A little aggressive with the flour. A little smoke. Also, along my journeys in life, I'm a hotel general manager responsible for sanitation of where you sleep and shower. So good germ conscious. I'm worried about that thing called SARS, severe respiratory syndrome. Came over on the planes in Asia about 20 years ago and then it went away. Now that's it. And for this, I'm going to go ahead and bring the camera in. Raise it up a little so you see it's not gravy, okay? It's designed, okay? Its design feature is that when you, there we go, ready? When you put this in the refrigerator, okay, it's going to solidify nice, and I can freeze. I'll freeze half of this. The other half I'll keep in the refrigerating temperature. And then it's the again, it's a base. You use it in a lot of meals. And now I'll be heading off down to Carlisle, Pennsylvania to see the Social Security people. That's that stutter I've been talking to the doctors about, the slurring and the stuttering.